Okay, we're going to go ahead and check 3 and 6. One thing about your feeler gauges is they need to be replaced fairly often. Okay, I'm going to come in here and set exhaust valves. Just touches. I'm going to snug that up. If you are using a pick, something that happens quite a lot is the pick gets left in there and bends the hell out of the pick and destroys your tool and ruins your day. So I always paint mine bright pink or something, some real obvious color so you see it. Okay. Those feel even, so we're going to go with that. You get a rhythm to this. Usually I can set a set of valves in about 15 minutes usually. Videotaping this takes a lot longer for sure, as you can imagine. Looks like it turned a little bit, so let's see if that changed. No. Just where I want them to be. Look like that one moved. Okay. Yep. Valves that we've adjusted them. You can kind of see them moving here. We're adjusting. We're checking this gap right here in between the valve stem and the rocker tip. Okay, same thing on this one. I'm going to set it just like I did on my other one with my depth gauge here. So I'm going to slide this down. $78.18. So there it is, 78.2. That's perfect, so I don't have to mess with that one. 4 now, you can see that's turning. This one's tight. You watch that lobe come up, and this will tighten up where I can't turn it anymore. Now, if I would have had the timing on the engine screwed up, we would have bent the valve by now. We're getting closer. There, that's tight. I can't move it. Here you can different view of this. Maybe this will help. You can see where I'm measuring. I'm going basically from the top of the valve rotator, not in the hole here. I want to make sure I'm there. 78.2. We're right on the money, so I don't have to worry about that one. I'm going to double check the torque just because. And now we're going to set valves on 6 and injector height on 2. Let's see how these feel. It's kind of tight. That's perfect. So we'll adjust that one. Nope. Actually, there must have been some oil in it because that one's just right too, so I don't have to adjust that one. Check our intake valves. Hey, that one's just right. I'm going to go with that. That one is not, though. That's way loose. Okay. I'll take it. Usually what happens is your exhaust valves tighten up and your intake valves loosen up on an engine that has some hours on it, type of thing. Just kind of the nature of the beast. Well, the exhaust valves beat themselves into the head, which is going to take lash out. You see it really bad on natural gas engines. The diesel stuff, you don't see it quite as bad. But typically that's what you're going to find is your exhaust valves are going to be tighter when you go to check these, and your intakes are going to loosen up because they wear. go ahead and mark those again. There, 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 and there. Okay, we're going to set ejector height on number 2. Same way we did all the others. The more you do this, the better you get at it. Part of the issue is I have to make sure I'm setting on this right. I think this one's way off, what I'm seeing. Oh, well, you look at the height of that one versus, say, this one. That would explain some things, wouldn't it? So it's too tall. We need to make it shorter. Getting there. Back this off a bit. Almost. Yeah, this one was not right to start with. Ooh, too much. Okay, right there. Mark. Okay, now we're going to set 5 on valve overlap. Let's turn. You see the cam lobe coming up here. Engine gets kind of springy against the compression because the injectors are in. Okay, there we're on valve overlap number 5. Okay, we're going to check number 2. That's tight. That's tight. 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 So we got to set all 4 of those. Another checkpoint, as you can tell, if you're on the right one, from you set the injector prior to that, other than when you do the first set of valves. Okay, same thing here. Okay. Notice I don't even check it until I get it torqued, because it will change if you don't do that. When you tighten it, for whatever reason, it takes some of the slack out, and it'll either tighten up or loosen up depending on if they've been stretched and all that jazz. So just something to know. Set our intake valves. Keep my hands out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. Be careful where you set your tools too. I've left them in underneath the valve cover before, and that's kind of the pits to have to take something back apart because you forgot a tool in there. Or worse yet, it gets cut up in something and damages the engine. Could be bad, right? So that one's too loose. This is going to be one of those. Maybe. Hopefully not. Like I said, get yourself in the habit of using a torque wrench every time. It'll save your bacon. Okay. That felt pretty good. Let's double check, make sure they feel the same. That's more important, like I said, than them all being exact. Like I said, if they're all set at 7 thousandths or 9 thousandths, doesn't matter. You know, if you're off a thousandths, it's not the end of the world. But if they're not even, that can be bad. So we'll go ahead and mark these two. Same thing here. We're going to check our height on 4. Dang close. 78.34. 78.4. I'm gonna have to adjust that one a little bit. Try just a little bit and see where that ends up. Too much. .21, that'll work. Okay, mark it. Okay, now we're going to find valve overlap on 3, 4, and 1. That's our last set. Okay, we're going to see our roller turns. I put paint marks on it just so you could see it better that it's turning, but that would screw up our setting. Okay, there we're on valve overlap. Okay, we're going to set number 4 valves now. Oh, way too tight. No, I'm going to loosen that one up. It's that tight. Let's go ahead and set him while we're here. I have a feeling more than one person set the valves on this last time, the way the field's been. Sometimes you got to push it up like that to get your gauge in it. That one's good. So we're going to go to the intakes now. It's a little on the loose side. Oh, wow, that one's tight. So, alright, we'll go ahead and do them both. That's perfect, but it's loose. It just goes to show you how finicky they can be. Well, I might be up against the nut. Okay. Try right there. Okay, that one feels good. That one feels good for valves again. And we should be done with our valves. We just got one more injector to do. Okay, we're going to set our last valve or injector, which is number 6. We're at 78.2. Perfect. We don't have to mess with it, so I'm going to go back through and double check all my nuts and make sure they're torqued, but we're done with the overhead.